let's talk about Agile. I definitely want to talk about the Agile manifesto. I also want to talk about just like Agile in quotes. Like, what does it mean to be Agile? So many places call themselves Agile or say they're doing Agile, but are they really Agile? And then we'll talk about flavors of Agile. I don't know if that's the best term for it, but I'm talking like XP, Scrum, Kanban, Lean, those types of things. Cool. Let's get into it. All right, Agile software development. What is it? We can go to Wikipedia and we can read Agile software development is an approach to software development under which requirements and solutions evolve through the collaboration effort of self-organizing and cross-functional teams and their customers and end users. Now, little history lesson. Where did this all start? Back in 2001, a group of software developers got together at, I think it was like a winter retreat in Utah, and they came up with the manifesto for Agile software development. This is the thing that kind of started it all. This is what I believe like created the word Agile in conjunction with software development. So let's read the manifesto for Agile software development. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. That is, while there is value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. And that really is the key point here. And the reason something like this even came about is because a lot of companies that do software development don't really focus on individuals and interactions or like actually working software and working features that an end user can use. A lot of companies typically use or follow a paradigm called waterfall, where you basically just do things in steps. And one thing comes after the other, and the next thing can't start until the other thing is finished. So you would see companies spending half a year or a year just documenting and coming up with requirements for what they were going to build without ever building it. And what this is saying is, sure, we can have that, but what if we just do a little bit at a time? What if we come up with some general requirements and then just have a go at it and try building it? And that allows us to uncover even more and allows us to build ultimately better software that is better fitted for the user who even asked for the software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Whereas you can have a contract in place, but just know that there's going to be back and forth. This isn't just going to be a company or like let's say somebody wants your company to build software for them and they give you a contract and just says, okay, build this thing for me. We'll see you again in a year. That just doesn't work because the software developers, the product team needs to uncover requirements. They need to collaborate with the customer to really figure out what they should be building. And then this last one, responding to change over following a plan. There are unknown unknowns. There are things that are going to happen that you are not going to expect. And instead of just continually following the plan that you had from the beginning, you need to be able to respond to that and adjust to it. So that's the general underlying thing of Agile software development. And you can take this in so many different ways, and people have. I just do want to point out, like, the names that were signed here are very prevalent in, like, book writers and in the Agile community. Like, Kent Beck did the Design Patterns book. Robert C. Martin, that's Uncle Bob, and he did Clean Code. Andrew Hunt, and maybe someone else did The Pragmatic Programmer. Andrew Hunt and Dave Thomas, I believe, did Pragmatic Programmer. Like, all of these people are very prevalent in the Agile community. They've written books. They're great. And then this is extended a little bit more. There are the 12 principles of Agile software. I'm not going to read these, but basically, they got together, they put this thing together, and we've been off to the races since then. In my notes here, I have Agile in quotes because a lot of companies might say they're doing Agile or say, oh, we're an Agile company, but it really has just become a bit of a buzzword. And it's more about creating like highly functional teams that work really well together and can get things done. And if that's not happening, you're probably not Agile. And then there are lots of flavors of Agile. So one of the first ones, this XP, is called Extreme Programming. And I believe this has been around before the Agile Manifesto came out. Yeah. if you look at origins, software development in the 90s was shaped by two major influences. Internally, and object-oriented programming replaced procedural programming. But yeah, so XP has been around since about 99 or so. And this is where a lot of the things that come in to things like Scrum were actually invented. So you have release planning, you have iteration planning, acceptance testing, stand-up meetings, pair negotiation, unit testing, pair programming, and it all works in a cycle or a loop. So when I talk about Scrum, you'll see how it has these cycles, and it's basically just a play on the things that they came up with in extreme programming. As I mentioned, there's Scrum, there's Kanban, there's lean software development. So there's all these things, and they all have really great ideas, and they're not just set in stone, this is how you build software. They are general ideas, and they have various reasons for why they have those specific ideas or ways of doing things. And if your team, if your company doesn't have those requirements, then maybe you don't have to follow those things. So these are not strict set of rules that must be followed. They are guidelines which will help your team build better software. And I say that because, like, at work, we kind of do a mix of all of these. So we do a little bit of XP because we have like pair programming and unit tests. We do Scrum because we have daily stand-ups and we try to have less than 2-week iterations. We take principles from lean software development because we harp on MVP, which is minimum viable product. We have Kanban boards, which really are iteration boards. All I'm saying is there's a ton of stuff. You can call it one thing, but at the end of the day, it's under this Agile umbrella. So that is what Agile is. And for the Coding Garden community app, we are doing it in a bit of an Agile way in terms of how we've planned this thing, how we're actually building out features. Now, the Coding Garden community app is unique in that we're not a team that's all working together in the same location. We live all around the world. We're in different time zones. And people are really just volunteering, so it's not full-time work. So we've made some adjustments, whereas there isn't exactly a daily stand-up, but we're still picking and choosing from it so that it will work with our team. So that is Agile software development. The next video will be talking specifically about Scrum. See you there.